Now, today I have Jaime Gennaro, and I am looking forward to being able to talk to her. Jaime, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
So please tell us all about you, because I know that you've got a background in entrepreneurship, but that's because you've actually worked in a variety of different businesses, isn't it? So give us a bit of an intro and more about you.
Yeah, so for I would say about 20 years, I have worked primarily with startups, and they've been of all industries and shapes and sizes. And one of the things I'm immensely proud of in my career is that every single startup I've worked with is still in business,
Oh, wow.
which is remarkable, honestly.
Mm.
And my background came from the fact that my parents owned a business. So from the time I was 8 years old, I was sort of spending my weekends and my extra time working at their company and watching it grow and kind of seeing how they evolved
Right.
with their business. And I think that was really inspiring for me and made me understand what you have to do
Mm.
to be able to run a successful business, because it's all encompassing. It
Right.
really is a bigger journey than just deciding to do this one thing for your job. It's not the path of least resistance to decide to start a business. And so I think that gave me some foundation to understand what that world looked like.
That's brilliant. Thank you. But also, I would guess that sows the seed of what our topic's about today, really, which is when somebody starts a business, let's just say, for argument's sake, they're an adrenaline junkie or an entrepreneur by any other name. And we'll talk about what you feel entrepreneurship is in a minute, if we may. I think they have a seed or a kernel or an idea, and then they just go hell for leather in order to make it work. I mean, is that typical? Is that what you feel at heart entrepreneurship's really about? What's your thoughts?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think that's what people think it's supposed to be.
that means maybe it goes wrong.
I think that there is this idea that, especially in the tech industry, that you need to work 80-hour weeks, you don't have a life, you give up everything, you can't have a family. This has to be everything that you
Mm,
do. And I think that a lot of, especially if you're a serial entrepreneur, that is your first business.
mm,
And then you learn that that's just not sustainable. It's just not, it's not actually possible. It is possible, but you're going to get to a point where you're really burnt out and
mm.
you're not going to have the longevity, or quite frankly, the leadership skills to lead your team in a way that's going to keep them inspired and keep them engaged. If the same expectation applies for your team as the pressure that you put on yourself to try to maintain that type of engagement and
Got
work
you.
level, and I know this probably rings true for the stuff that you work on and work with your clients, that's just not, it's just not realistic. So I think it's an old belief of what entrepreneurship looks like. But what I work with my clients on is changing that belief, because it can be whatever we want it to be.